process and have an amazing insight, and you must be ready and have the skill to develop your own high quality games. So what are you waiting for? Register now and join the game development workshop today. Register करो और हमसे आके मिलो.
Hi guys, so are you interested to create your own multiplayer high-end game? Then join Game Institute's GI Battleground workshop. In this workshop, you will be learning about game design, network programming, server infrastructure, player matchmaking, and much more. By using industry standard software called Unreal Engine 5, you will develop your own high-end multiplayer game and receive feedback from experienced game developers.
So these are the secrets we will be revealing in this GI Battle Royale workshop. Understanding the basic game implementation, creating your own game physics and game mechanics, build out character abilities such as spawning scene objects and much more, creating logic for different game modes, multiplayer networking and server architecture, testing graphics, audio, music and etc. End of thinking capacity.
So I'm here to talk about the designing aspect of this game. The first part of the designing aspects are our characters that we have found on the Unreal Engine marketplace, and we have retargeted the startup and animation to those characters. इनका look and feel change करने के लिए हम लोग ने हर एक characters के लिए multiple cosmetics बनाए. So in game, each and every character can choose to look different. We have created stylized bags जो हमारा logo emit करते हैं. Now about the map designing, the theme would be stated as dusty abandoned colony. We have also created a dusty ground with the help of exponential height fog which is available in the Unreal Engine, and light assets हर एक जगह पे place किए with proper tint to make the environment look fantastic.
Hi, so I will teach you how to create an online GI Battle Royale game. The first thing we will be making is the blueprints in Unreal Engine, which is the visual scripting language. So if you are not familiar with coding, don't worry, we will teach you how to get further. उसके बाद जो फर्स्ट थिंग हम लोग सीखेंगे दैट इज कैरेक्टर एनिमेशंस एंड कैरेक्टर मूवमेंट. हम लोग कैरेक्टर को सेटअप करेंगे हमारे लेवल में सो दैट यू कैन वॉक विद योर कैरेक्टर, एनिमेट हो गया एंड एवरीथिंग. एंड एक बार वो सब हो गया है, वी विल मूव ऑन टू द शूटिंग मैकेनिक्स जिसमें वी टीच यू हाउ टू शूट द प्लेयर, हाउ टू शूट गन्स एंड जो प्लेयर को लगेगा बुलेट वो सब ट्रैवलिंग कैसा होगा वो सब हम लोग देखेंगे. उसके बाद आता है हमारा नेटवर्किंग पार्ट. एक बार हम लोग का पूरा लॉजिक रेडी है, वो पार्ट में हम लोग को नेटवर्क पे कैसे ट्रैवल करना है, जो चीज हमारे स्क्रीन पर हो रही है दूसरे स्क्रीन पर भी दिखनी चाहिए, वो हमारा नेटवर्किंग का पार्ट होगा. एक बार वो सब हो जाएगा देन वी विल मूव ऑन टू द पार्टिकल इफेक्ट जिससे हम लोग थोड़ा और ग्लोरीफाई करेंगे लेवल को, थोड़ा और बेटर दिखेगा पार्टिकल इफेक्ट. वो सब होने के बाद आता है हमारा एंड में यूजर इंटरफेस. यूजर इंटरफेस इज इम्पोर्टेंट बिकॉज उसके वजह से ही हम लोग एक दूसरे के साथ कम्युनिकेट कर पाएंगे. जब भी कोई प्लेयर ऑन करता है अपना गेम तो वो लॉबी में कनेक्ट होता है, फ्रेंड्स को इनवाइट करता है, एक साथ वो लोग बैठ के एक ही लॉबी में एक ही गेम खेलते हैं. And especially I will give you my inside tips and tricks.
By the end of the workshop, you will have gained a solid understanding of game development process and have an amazing insight, and you must be ready and have the skill to develop your own high quality games. So what are you waiting for? Register now and join the game development workshop today. Register करो और हमसे आके मिलो.
Hi guys, so are you interested to create your own multiplayer high-end game? Then join Game Institute's GI Battleground workshop. In this workshop, you will be learning about game design, network programming, server infrastructure, player matchmaking, and much more. By using industry standard software called Unreal Engine 5, you will develop your own high-end multiplayer game and receive feedback from experienced game developers.
So these are the secrets we will be revealing in this GI Battle Royale workshop. Understanding the basic game implementation, creating your own game physics and game mechanics, build out character abilities such as spawning scene objects and much more, creating logic for different game modes, multiplayer networking and server architecture, testing graphics, audio, music and etc. End of thinking capacity.
So I'm here to talk about the designing aspect of this game. The first part of the designing aspects are our characters that we have found on the Unreal Engine marketplace, and we have retargeted the startup and animation to those characters. In the look and
Hello. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm audible, right? So yeah, hello. Myself Piyush, Unreal Engine game developer here at Game Institute. Okay. So we are going to start a new live session of VR, obviously, right? So in Unreal Engine. Okay. Yeah. So before starting, I'll tell you about Game Institute. Okay. So Game Institute is a gaming college of India. Okay. Where we provide n number of courses. Okay. From game development, VR, virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. Okay. And we also have our degree programs if you are interested. Okay. And we are associated with Geo Games, which is very cool. Okay. And these are some of our games which we have uploaded in our Play Store. If you are interested, you can go and play. Right. So yeah, we'll start with our stream. Okay. So this is our default VR template, which I have simply created, nothing else. And I have simply connected my this Meta 3 in my PC. Okay. So when I play, I'll just show you how the default template looks like. Okay. So I have to press on this button, which will be by default set to selected viewport. I have to choose my VR preview here. Okay. So when I click on this icon, right? I'm in my VR world, right? So you can see I'm controlling my hands with by this controller. I'm gripping with this buttons, which is the grip button. Okay, I hope you can see. Okay, yeah. So I can grip, I can show some of my gestures, which is thumbs up, right? And I can move. Okay, so in this default template, the movement is this like this. Okay, so I hope you can see I'm using my left joystick button to rotate. Okay, huh? Wow, very good. Yes. Okay. Right. So I'll show it again. Okay. So this is my template, VR template. Okay. And I can look around. I can grab objects which I don't have in my template right here. But yeah, I can rotate using this left joystick button. Okay. And I can move. Okay. So you can see a gizmo here. Okay. So whenever I click, okay, I can move to that point. Okay. And I can't go here, which is this top side, but I can move. Okay. So this is the basic template of VR. I can grab this ball. Okay. So yeah, as you know, we are going to create a replica of our Fruit Ninja in VR. So yeah, so before that, I want to change some of the settings in our default VR preview. So first thing first, I'll open my VR pawn, which is our character in this level or template, right? So this is how the viewport or the view of our character looks like. Okay, so it has a camera. Okay, so I can see, and I have two hands. Okay, that's it. But I don't want this, which is the pawn class. Okay, it name suggests like we are pawn, so we are going to use character for this. Okay, so I want to change its parent class. So I will go in my class default and search character, I guess. Character. Okay, not here. In my class settings. Okay. So in my class settings, I can change its parent class. So I want it to be as a character. So I can move. Okay. So I'll set it to character, and you can see it over here. We got a capsule, right? So I can simply, I'll just grab it and place it over here. I guess around 60 or something, I don't know. 60. Okay. And our VR character is too fat for now, so I'll simply shrink it to 15. Okay. Yeah, everything is working. Okay. After that, what I told is I want to change my default locomotion. Right. So this is the default code of overall character which I want to change. So first thing first, what I want is that movement part. Okay, that teleport wala part. I want to change it. Okay, so what I'll do this one. Okay, you can see it here, which is event move AI underscore move. Okay, enhance input it is. So I'll simply disconnect it everything. Okay, so I can create my own locomotion and everything. So what I'll do is I'll explain it. By using my right joystick, I can move, which is forward, left, right, and backward. By using my second, which is my second controller, I can just rotate, which is left, right, which I showed prior. Okay, cool. So we have to create, and before creating, okay, I need to create a input action for this, right? So yeah, we'll create an input action and we'll use default asset for this, which is our IMC default. Okay. In here, I have to create a input action. Okay. This is not a tutorial video. If you guys want to learn about this, you can join our institute. Okay. So yeah. So first thing first, I want to create a action, input action for this. Okay. So I'll right click in my input. I'll go in my input action. Okay. I'll name it IA underscore right locomotion like this. Okay. I'll open it, and obviously I want to like add my locomotion, so I'll use axis 2D for this, which is a vector 2D, so I can move in my x and y axis, right? Okay, so after this I'll save it. That's it. Okay, we are done with this part, which is our input action. After that, I want to add that input action in my mapping wala part. Okay, so I'll simply press plus over here. Okay, and here I can choose my own, which I custom created, which is I underscore right locomotion. This one. Okay, and after that I want to bind my this like right controller, right joystick controller to my this IA wala part. Okay, so here we get all the other inputs which we get, which is keyboard, mouse, okay, STC, and we are using a Oculus, which is MetaQuest 3. Okay, so from here I want to add my right, okay, this one, right joystick. Okay, so right joystick, thumbstick, this one. Okay, Oculus Touch R, which stands for right. Okay, thumbstick 2D and 2D slash axis. Okay, which is this one, and we are using for our X and Y movement. Okay, so we'll bind it to our Oculus right joystick controller, and after that I'll simply write it here IA underscore right locomotion. Okay, so it will provide me with my two inputs, which is my trigger, okay, and a struct. Okay, so what we'll do, I'll simply right click and split that struct. Okay, so it will provide me X and Y for this. Okay, I will save it, and after that I want to move it, right? So how we move in Unreal Engine, or how we get that function, which is add movement inputs. Okay, this one. Okay, so what does this do? It provides me a world direction, like which direction I want to move, X, Y, or Z. Okay, so we are moving in our X and Y axis, right? And we want to provide a simple value. Okay, how fast or how slow our character should move, right? So before that, what I prefer is to print string, like to debug if it is working or not, right? So I'll add my x-axis and change its color. Okay, leave it to blue. And for this one, for my y, print string and red. Okay, and 2 for this key. Okay, so now if I play, I should see my input. Okay, I hope it is visible. I can't see. Okay, yeah, it is working. Okay, so I'm changing, like I'm moving my right joystick. So depending on my direction, it is changing its value, like -1, 0 to 1. Okay, so it is working. Our input action is working. So I'll remove this print string and simply add our add movement input. Okay. So first thing what I do is to add 1 in my x-axis to check if it is working or not, and I'll add my x-axis to my scale. Okay, so it will determine how fast or slow our character should walk. Okay, so now if I try, okay, so it is working, right? Okay, but what if I look on my right side and try to move forward and backward? Okay, so this is the problem. We are hard coding our value, which is our x axis ka value. We are setting to 1, but we don't want this. What we want is to get our camera's forward axis. Okay, forward vector. Okay, so I'll simply get forward vector here and add to this, but we are not using this. We are not using our z value, like we don't want to fly. So what I'll do is right click in my get forward vector and split this. Same for my world direction, split this and simply add my x and y value, right? We'll do it for y for now. Okay. So now if I try, it works. Okay. So whichever direction I'm looking at, it will move forward, backward. Okay. So same thing we want to do it for our left, right. Okay. I guess the speed is too fast for now. So what I'll do, I'll simply change its speed to 300, half the value. Okay, so we are done with our forward backward wala part, and after that what we want is duplicate our add movement input and do the same for our x-axis. Okay, but for now what we'll do is get right vector because we want to move left and right. Okay, same thing here, split this and we'll add our x and y value here, and the scale value will be our x value, right? Okay, something like this. Okay, so when I rotate my joystick here, so depending on that value I can move left, right, forward, backward. Okay, and same thing I can look wherever I want and I can move depending on that value, right? So yeah, so this was the basic locomotion which we want to achieve in our game. Okay, and the second thing which I guess it is subjective, but if you want, you can add your left thumbstick to simply rotate left and right. If you are stationary like me, okay, I'm sitting in a chair, right? Cool. So yeah, that's it for our locomotion. Now we'll start creating our fruit ninja. Okay. So for now, what we'll do is create a simple prototype where we can grab a sword or we'll keep it stationary, and whenever the fruit lands on that sword, it will slice it. Okay. Uh, so I've simply added a model for this, which is this one, katana, right? And I also have some fruits here. Okay. So what I want is I'll simply show what we want to create. Okay. We'll place our katana in our seam or level. Here, I guess. Okay. And let's see if it matches our player. Okay. So if I go near my sword, okay, I'm too tall for this. So yeah, this is the issue of our template. So for this, what we'll do, go in our begin play, you can see a set tracking origin. What we want to set it as local or local floor. Let's see what works. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if we compare, I guess our katana is too big for now. So I'll simply scale it to 1.8, I guess, 0.8. Okay. Right, like this. Hmm. And what I'll do, I'll simply place a fruit next to it. Watermelon for now. Okay. Cool. So now what I want is whenever I go near my katana, okay, just a second. Okay. So whenever I go near my katana, I should grab it using my grip button here. Okay. So it will snap in my hand and I'll simply chop it. Okay. So we'll start by creating a blueprint class for our katana. Okay. So I go here, simply right click blueprint class and actor, and I'll name it VP underscore katana like this. Okay. And here what I want is to add a static mesh. Okay. I'll name it katana. Okay. And after that, in my katana, which is my static mesh, I want to add another component which is a grab component. Okay. So this is something new in our VR. So by using this grab component, we can simply grab our katana. Okay. So I'll add a static mesh of katana. Okay. And here you can see some of the enums which we can select a grab type. So by default it is set to free. Okay. So what free means is we can grab from whichever point we like. Okay. For example, if I grab from here, it will grab from here. Okay. But we don't want that. Okay. We want it to hold it from here. Okay. So what we'll do, simply choose snap. Okay. And after snap, we'll place our grab component here, whichever point like I like to set it like that, like this. Okay. So yeah, and after that, what I want is to change my collision preset to custom for a custom for now. Okay. Okay. I guess we'll set it to physics and math. We'll see if it falls or not. I will set it as simulate physics. So I'll replace my static mesh to my katana. Okay. 0.8, which we choose. Okay. Okay. So if I go near my katana and try to grab it, you can see I can grab it, right? But the position is a bit wrong. Okay, I want it like this. Okay, so simple fix for this is to rotate it. Okay, to rotate my grab component. Okay. So I guess minus 90. Okay. So if we go again and try to grab, yeah, okay, I guess 90 will work. So 90. Yeah. So I have to give a bit of offset for this, but you can see I can grab my katana. Okay. And yeah. Okay. So yeah, for the offset, what I'll do is set it to minus 3, I guess, or minus 1 for now. Okay. Okay. Okay, a bit more, but I guess it works for now. So we'll keep it as it is and we'll continue with our fruit. Okay. First thing, what we'll do is create a procedural mesh for this. Okay. So how to create it? Simply right click. We have to create actor for this. Blueprint class, actor. I'll name it BP underscore fruits. Okay. So in here, I'll add a static mesh. watermelon. Okay, and below that I'll add a procedural mesh. Okay, like this. And another thing what I want to show is to keep this static mesh as no collision. Okay, can character step on? Okay, so we'll set it no. Okay, right. And in my procedural mesh, okay, it is set to block on. Fine, cool. So in my construction script, what I'll do is copy procedural mesh from static mesh component. Okay, so we'll add a static mesh here in my static mesh component, and we'll add a procedural mesh component here and create a collision. So what it will do is create a collision. Okay, okay, yeah, so that's it. Okay, so I'll delete this and I'll add my procedural mesh fruit. Okay, and another thing, I want its physics to simulate. Okay, so if we see, if I drop it, okay, it doesn't work. Yeah, so it shows a warning. So what is simply saying is I want to set it as complex simple collision. Okay, so here I'll go and search use complex simple collision. Yeah, use complex use complex right? Use complex as simple collision. Yeah, this one. Okay, so it is by default take. Cool. Yeah, this one. So if I simulate, it should fall, right? It is working. Cool. And another thing which I want is to have an impulse, like it should start from, I guess, this point from here. Okay. So what I'll do is simply add force, or you can use add impulse for this. Okay, I'll use add impulse. Add impulse to my procedural mesh. Okay. And I'll add it as 10,000 for now. Yeah, 10,000 for now. And I want to check this boolean, which is val change to tick. Okay. Cool. So now if I try to simulate it, so it jumps, right? So we want this. Okay. And after that, what I want is to open my static mesh of my katana, and I want to set it as a complex collision. Okay. Here. Okay. So it will simply say collision complexity. So we want to use complex collision as simple. Okay. So if we look how our complex collision looks, okay, this is how our complex collision looks. Okay. Yeah. yeah. So after that, what I want is to create another static mesh, and here what I'll do is add a plane. Okay, shape slash plane. Okay, and we'll set it. Okay, and we'll set it as the same size of our blade. Okay, so what it will do is this plane will determine if it is colliding with our fruit or not. Okay, okay, yeah, and I'll name it blade, and I want this to be as overlap all. Okay, and inside my event graph, what I want is my begin overlap event. Okay, so inside here it will check if it is overlapping with our procedural mesh. So what we'll do is pass to procedural mesh component. Okay, and if it is valid. Okay, what we'll do is slice procedural mesh. We get a default function for this. Okay, so if it is valid, it will simply slice that procedural mesh, if it is overlapping or not. Okay, if you want, you can debug it, you can print it, but it works. Okay, so yeah, so in here, I want to give it a location, like what from where it should cut and everything. But before that, I'll simply true this one, which is create other half. Okay, so we want to set it as a two half. Okay, and here I want to set it as create new section for cap. Okay, and we can simply give it a material. Okay, so for now, what I'll do is use this one green color. Okay, and yes, after that, I want it to simulate physics. Okay, to be true. Okay, and yes, I want my blade to get world location and get up vector. Okay, cool. And one more thing, I'll simply pull it off my blade and we'll see if it works or not. So what I'll do is rotate my blade and see if it works or not. Okay, I'll place it above my blade, and if I simulate it, it cuts right perfectly from where it got hit. Okay, so if I show it again, okay, where is it? Yeah, it is working. So now if we test it out from the VR perspective, okay, lol. I got disconnected. Just a minute. Okay, I'm trying to reconnect. Uh, okay, technical difficulties part 2.
Hi guys, so are you interested to create your own multiplayer high-end game? Then join Game Institute's GI Battleground workshop. In this workshop, you will be learning about game design, network programming, server infrastructure, player matchmaking, and much more. By using industry standard software called Unreal Engine 5, you will develop your own high-end multiplayer game and receive feedback from experienced game developers.
So these are the secrets we will be revealing in this GI Battle Royale workshop. Understanding the basic game implementation, creating your own game physics and game mechanics, build out character abilities such as spawning scene objects and much more, creating logic for different game modes, multiplayer networking and server architecture, testing graphics, audio, music and etc. End of thinking capacity.
So I'm here to talk about the designing aspect of this game. The first part of the designing aspects are our characters that we have found on the Unreal Engine marketplace, and we have retargeted the startup and animations to those characters. इनका look and feel change करने के लिए हम लोग ने हर एक characters के लिए multiple cosmetics बनाए. So in game, each and every character can choose to look different. We have created stylized bags जो हमारे लोगो emit करते. Now other than that designing, the theme would be stated as dusty abandoned colony. We have also created a dusty ground with the help of exponential height fog which is available in the Unreal Engine, and light assets हर एक जगह पे पेस्ट किए with proper tint to make the environment look fantastic.
Hi, so I will teach you how to create an online GI Battle Royale game. The first thing we will be making is the blueprints in Unreal Engine, which is the visual scripting language. So if you are not familiar with coding, don't worry, we will teach you how to get further. उसके बाद जो फर्स्ट थिंग हम लोग सीखेंगे दैट इज कैरेक्टर एनिमेशंस एंड कैरेक्टर मूवमेंट. हम लोग कैरेक्टर को सेटअप करेंगे हमारे लेवल में सो दैट यू कैन वॉक विद योर कैरेक्टर, एनिमेट हो गया एंड एवरीथिंग. एंड एक बार वो सब हो गया है, वी विल मूव ऑन टू द शूटिंग मैकेनिक्स जिसमें वी टीच यू हाउ टू शूट द प्लेयर, हाउ टू शूट गन्स एंड जो प्लेयर को लगेगा बुलेट वो सब ट्रैवलिंग कैसा होगा वो सब हम लोग देखेंगे. उसके बाद आता है हमारा नेटवर्किंग पार्ट. एक बार हम लोग का पूरा लॉजिक रेडी है, वो पार्ट हम लोग को नेटवर्क पे कैसे ट्रैवल करना है, जो चीज हमारे
Mic check, please, guys. Hello. Okay, very cool. So yeah, we are back. So now if I go in my level and grab my katana. Okay. So now I can simply pitching, cut it. Okay. Which is very cool. Okay. So we are done with the basic part of our Fruit Ninja, but it is not polished yet. So we'll do it now. Okay. So first thing first, what we'll do is hide our blade. Okay. So hidden in game to true, and I guess this looks good. Okay. Right. So after that, what we want is to spawn it. Okay. So we don't want our fruit to be like this, but what we'll do is create a spawner for this. Okay. Okay. So yeah, in my katana, I have my fruit, and I need a simple launcher for this. Okay. So in here, what I will do is create an actor for this. Okay. I'll name it pp underscore fruit spawner, something like this. Okay. And in here, what we'll do is in our begin play, I'll simply create a timer. Okay, we are not going to use text for this, but we'll create a timer. Okay, so set timer by event. Okay, we'll set the duration to 1. Okay, and we'll keep it as loop. Okay, and from here, I'll create a custom event, name it spawn. Okay, and from here, we'll do spawn actor from class. Okay, and in here I want to set which actor I want to spawn. So for this I want my bp underscore fruit, this one, right? And where it should be spawned. So I'll simply get actor transform for this. Okay, that's it. So if I go here and place my fruit spawner, if it is correctly set, and if I set to simulate, it simply spawns. Okay, okay, got. Okay, I'm not disconnected this. So yeah, our spawner is working, right? You can see it here, like, but the issue is it is spawning only one fruit, which we don't want it. Okay, at the time. Okay, so it is spawning on after every 1 second. So what we can do is create a randomness between these. Okay, so we'll do a random float in range. Okay, so we can set it as 1 to 5 seconds. Okay, so it will spawn in between this time, which is 1 to 5 seconds. So now if I show it again, okay, yeah, it is working. Okay, and another thing, what we want is it should also get destroyed, right? Because you can see it over here, it simply adds the actor, okay, which can give us a performance issue in our game. Okay, so what we want is we'll use a delay node, delay of, I guess, I don't know, maybe 8 seconds. Okay, after 8 seconds, it should simply destroy it. Okay, so the reason why we are spawning and destroying every frame and we are not using pooling for this is our mesh are dividing. Okay, so we need a fresh mesh for this. So for that, we are going to use spawn actor from class for this. Okay, so every time I play, it spawns and after 8 seconds, okay, wow, after 8 seconds, it should get destroyed, but it is not. What's the reason? Let's check it out. Okay. I guess I should add this after, like before this, or maybe a sequencer for this. Okay, like this. Yeah. And after that, what we want to do is create some child for this. We are using inheritance for this. So I'll simply right click and create a child blueprint class for this. Okay. So I'll name it bp underscore apple. Okay. I'll open it. In my static mesh, I'll simply choose apple. Okay. For example, this one. Okay. And I also need to check it out how much fruits I have. Okay. So I have apple, avocado, banana. Okay. We have plenty of fruits. Okay. Pear and everything, melons. Cool. Right. So we'll simply create childs for this. Okay. So next, after that, we have created apple. Another child bp underscore pear. Okay. Another one bp underscore banana. Okay. Another one bp underscore melon. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 5 for now. Okay. After apple, I want my banana over here. Okay. Next, after banana, melon. Okay. Melon. Right. This one for now. After that, pear. Okay, this one. So we have 5 fruits for now, and we'll keep it as random. Okay, so in my spawner, where is my spawner? bp underscore fruit spawner. I'll create a enum for this. Okay, so first I need to create a variable, not an enum. Sorry, an array. Okay, so yeah, in here the type will be actor. Okay, and I'll name it fruits. Okay, and this will be array. Okay, so we can set as much as fruit we want. So in here, I'll choose. Okay, I can't choose. Let me see it again. Add, and this will be our parent, which is bp underscore fruit for now. Okay. Fine. Okay. So now if we try, like I'll place my spawner here. Okay, so it will spawn from the ground. Okay. So now if I try it again and I'm disconnected for some reason. Okay. So now if we see, I can grab my katana. Okay. Wait a minute. Another thing which I want to show is whenever I grab an object, okay, I'll show it first. Okay. I can simply move, right? But whenever I grab an object, for example, this katana. I'm trying to move forward, but it is acting a bit weird. Okay, if I keep it this close. Okay, so what's the reason? This object is as set it as block all, right? So what I want is to set it as custom. Okay. Uh, in my BP underscore katana, I'll set it as custom. I'll set my collision preset as custom. Okay. And I'll replace it. I mean, I'll change the value, which is pawn. And I guess pawn will work. And physics body too. Okay. To overlap. And now if I try, okay, yeah, it is working. Okay, and if I try, I can cut the fruits. Okay, but the reason the another fruit was not spawning is it was blocking that another fruit. Okay, so yeah, we want to fix that. So before that, what I want is to change my collision preset. I guess to ignore world dynamic, world static. Okay. Yeah, vehicle. I guess that's it. Okay. So yeah, it is working. It is working. Okay, after some time, it is not working. So, okay. I think I know the reason. In here, what we are doing, we are simply destroying the spawner, which we don't want. Okay. So I'll simply remove this. And in my BP underscore fruit here, I want, okay. Here I want to set a delay of, for example, 8 seconds. Okay. And after that, destroy actor. Right. Yeah. So decrease the force. Yeah. So it is working. After 8 seconds, our melons are destroying. Very cool. Yeah, it is working. So now if I try, okay, yeah. So the basic spawner is working. But the thing is, the add force is too much for now. So in here, in my BP underscore fruit, what I'll do is decrease its strength, which is the force, okay, to I don't know, 18,000, I guess. Okay. Yeah. So I guess this much height is okay for now. Yeah. Okay. So till now, what we have done is created a katana, okay, which slices our fruit. Okay, we can grab it and we can cut it. Okay, and we have also created a custom locomotion for our character. Okay, and another thing which I wanted to share is okay, never mind. I'll show it in our next stream, which is on Thursday, next Thursday at 5 p.m. Okay. So I hope this stream was helpful and bye bye, I guess. Yeah.
Hi guys, so are you interested to create your own multiplayer high-end game? Then join Game Institute's GI Battleground workshop. In this workshop, you will be learning about game design, network programming, server infrastructure, player matchmaking, and much more by using industry standard software called Unreal Engine 5. You will develop